What's going on, y'all? So listen. What's going on, y'all? So we are back again for another episode review of the Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 5, episode 15, Portu-Girl-Bye. Okay. Um. So as we get into the episode, we see what everybody is doing. We got Giselle. I don't know who was Robin talking to or whatever. She was talking to somebody. Could have been Giselle. Could have been Candiace. Could have been somebody. No, I think she was talking to Wendy. And, they just found out about the whole thing that happened, Wendy being away from the family and, having to make all these meals or whatever. She's a little nervous being away from everybody or whatever, woo, woo, woo. And then it comes up about the whole Monique counter filing a charge against Ashley. Not Ashley, but Candiace. And, Robin feeling some type of way. This ain't what you're supposed to do. This shows me that you're not remorseful if you're going to do this. And what second degree assault did Candiace do to you and all that stuff. And, Candiace up there talking to her friend and she's still feeling a type of way about the thing too. And my whole thing is both of y'all are dumb. Okay, how many you can watch fucking Law and Order and all they shit don't even be fucking correct, but that's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Even if they didn't want to, if the lawyer suggests that, the better way probably to get the case dismissed is to counter file a charge against the girl, that's probably what wound up happening. And guess what happened? Both of the cases were dismissed. Okay, so ain't nothing happened to Monique and ain't nothing happened to Candiace. Both of them got out of clear. All right, that's probably what's the strategy in the first damn place. So I'm not mad at Monique for filing a charge. I understand how the court works. I understand how law works, and you should understand once you file against a person, that person has a right and the opportunity to counterfile against you. Okay, so don't be surprised. Meanwhile, you got Monique meeting up with Karen to discuss what happened between the girls and the fact that Ashley told her that Karen said the thing about kind of encourage making it seem like Karen encouraged Candiace to, file the charge against her or whatever. But at the end of the day, like Karen said, if she was in that predicament, she filed charges because she can't fight. And she gave her honest opinion. And I can't really be mad at that because of the simple fact that she is trying to be neutral with both of them. You asked me a question, I answered it wholeheartedly full. I didn't tell you no lie. I didn't I didn't mean to say it. No, she said that's what she said. Okay, she's trying to be Monique's friend. She's trying to be Candiace's friend, and in the process, her friendship with Candiace is a little bit rocky because Candiace want to act like a little girl, and she wants Karen to be 100% on her side, and she doesn't understand that that's not how things work. Okay, and that's not how things are going to work with Karen. All right, she's a grown woman, and you can't force this grown woman, like this seasoned grown woman, to see everything from your side and from your point of view. Like, she sees your point of view, but she's still going to have her opinion, and she's still going to not sacrifice her friendships just because you want her to be 100% on your side. It's just not going to happen. Monique has to understand that shit too, so they come to some, they understood each other in that moment. And Karen also told Monique about the fact that they going to Portugal and it was Ashley trip. Monique didn't have no idea about it. Now, she looked like she was about to be up in her feelings, and I said, hey girl, snap up out of it, okay? Because you knew if you would have been invited, nobody else would have came, and it would have just been you, Ashley, and Karen, okay? That's all that it would have been had. And what fun would that be? None. Okay, I mean, y'all probably would have had fun, but it wouldn't have been no drama, whatever, unless you and Ashley had a falling out. And that don't seem like that's gonna happen anytime soon, because Ashley, she's up there with, Michael. They going over the list of what's going to happen because Eve is going to be there, her friend that was there when they was at taking care of baby Dean while they was at Monique's little cabin house or whatever, lake house. She's going to be there during the day. Michael's going to be there during the night because Michael still has to work and, making sure that all the instructions are put out or whatever. I was looking at Ashley's eye and I said, girl, who hit you? And then I realized, no, that's a busted blood vessel. And then I looked on Twitter or whatever. Somebody said when they was at BravoCon, she still had the same busted blood vessel in her eye, and she said it was from sleep deprivation. Deprivation. I didn't know you can get it from sleep deprivation. I know I've had one before because I kept. Let me tell you something. I was feeling when I had my acid reflux was acting up so bad, and I'm finna tell you some stuff. what acid reflux do sometimes, especially when it gets irritated, it keeps your food from going down and you sometimes have to regurgitate. And I just kept on throwing up stuff. And then at one point, I really wasn't throwing up anything but bile. And it was so much so that I busted a blood vessel in my eye. Yeah, it's too much strain and pressure and stuff on that. That's what happened. So, some of y'all didn't have that too. Because I looked up at the camera and I said, wait a minute, Ashley, what happened to your eye? Michael, what you do to her? But no, that's not what was it. Okay. But yeah, talking about that and talking about the fact that Monique is okay with the fact that she's not going to Portugal. She said that Karen beat her to the punch to tell her that whole situation, and then she gets into what we wanted to know about this statement that we saw during the preview, the second half preview. Because we was like, how you gonna give a statement? How Monique gonna ask you to give a statement on what happened during the fight when you weren't even there? No, since Monique filed this counter charge against Candiace, she trying to build up the character witnesses that was a witness to Candiace's behavior. Okay, you want to talk about my behavior during this part or whatever, so now you want to, let's bring in the people that had issues with you and the messed up things that you did, your violent tendencies as well. So she wants her to give a statement what she did about what happened that night at Candiace's house when Candiace threatened her with that butter knife. Okay, something that Candiace acts like she forgot, or some of y'all fans act like she forgot too. Because if you want to call Monique violent, you can call Candiace violent too. The only difference is Monique actually threw hands. She didn't throw weapons, she threw hands. Okay, that's it. Candiace had an actual weapon. So exactly. Anyway, it was both wrong on both parts. That's all we can agree on. It was both wrong on both parts. So of course Ashley agreed with that, and said that she would do it because in the past year or so, her and Monique has become real cool. And she was like, when Michael and her was going through that mess that happened about him touching that cameraman's ass or whatever, that they didn't so-called catch on tape. They so-called didn't catch on tape when they was at Monique's house. But oh baby, they didn't caught it on tape from season 1 or whatever season it was when they first got on there and he was grabbing that cameraman's ass that we caught. You have got to see the video. I mean, the way he went past and just snapped. I said, now see, that's some shit my uncle, when we went to Pride, my uncle used to do that all the time. Like every ass that came past, he was just grabbing ass. I said, sir, could you please stop? But he wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? That was Michael. That was Michael to that cameraman. But anyway, that wound up happening. And she said even Monique already knew about the fact that her and Michael was kind of in an open relationship, so when she told them at the winery or whatever, Monique was acting surprised. So their friendship is intact, and she was like, me and Candiace should be okay at this point. I said, girl, all right. So everybody is getting ready to go to Portugal. Majoria is let me tell y'all something. Last night, I gave my neighbors a reprieve. Okay, I gave them a break because, they could have been celebrating the whole thing about the presidency. 9 out of 10, they weren't, but I think it was somebody's birthday party last night, and it was like pumping outside till probably like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I don't know. Somebody was out there on that mic, drunk as hell, singing and everything. And I don't know who kid is out there screaming right about now, but they need to come get that little brat, okay? Because it is dark outside. Put that little boy or girl inside. I don't understand what's going on. But listen, that's my neighbor chronicles for y'all. But anyway, so everybody is getting ready to go to Portugal. And at this point, they're getting on the planes or whatever, and kind of find out Wendy is sitting next to Karen. Okay, so when they finally get to Portugal, they get in the car. Not Wendy, but Karen, she hits her head or whatever. That was the laugh of the night for that moment. Everybody got their own suite. Did y'all see when they came in there? And Ashley was trying to say good morning or whatever, and she said, Buenos dia or Bondina or something, Bon dia. And then she was like, is that Portugal? And no dude was like, no, it's not. Okay, they said it was Catalan or something. I was like, oh, but at least she tried. At least she tried. It's not, is it Portugal? Is it Portuguese, I should say. But anyway, so found out looked like the girls had their own suites or whatever, so that was cute. It was a little nice setup, everybody was calling their mates, their respective mates. And we see that ever since Karen got their, um, Ray saying that he was thankful and thanking her for helping him out with the tax issues and whatever. They've been on a good page and all that. And Ashley said, let's just have dinner or whatever downstairs in the, restaurants in the hotel because, everybody was kind of tired. So everybody gets down there. You got Giselle was talking to Jamal, girl. What they were talking about, I don't know. But so they get down there and they're talking, and Karen ordered some milk or whatever for her ulcer and all that stuff. And girl, Ashley said that ulcer is just as a unicorn, just like anything else she done put out there. This is what she does when she puts something out there that she don't want to be talked about and all that stuff and woo woo woo. And so at this moment, everything was going cool. Giselle brings up the fact that, we want this in the confession talking about they all know about the news with Monique, okay? So they want this to be an enjoyable thing for Candiace, so we're not even going to bring up the dumb fight. Why y'all keep on bringing it up throughout these past few episodes, I don't understand. Let that shit go, okay? Then it'll die down. But, so that happens, and Wendy was like, everybody was like, they finna have fun. Wendy was like, because Ashley said we're gonna go to the market tomorrow, do some shopping, all this stuff. Wendy started talking, and she said, y'all gonna get to know the real Wendy, fun Wendy, turn up Wendy, or whatever. But see, Karen, let me tell you something. I'm gonna let y'all know something about me that y'all probably did not know. Okay, Karen, remember when I was talking to you about the whole thing with the degrees and all that stuff? And it was like, oh, here we go. Here we go with her in this 4-degree shit. Bitch, we don't care, okay? We do not care. It's a girl. Okay, that's how I was. But then she started saying, when her parents came here, they was immigrants, they were broke, and her father first job here was working at a fast food restaurant, and he was doing such a good job that he got promoted to be a manager. And so in order to show his thanks for being promoted to manager and living this dream or whatever, being a part of this American dream, he named his second daughter Wendy. So the daddy worked at Wendy's, and that's how Wendy's got her name. And I was like, that was a cute little story. Everybody liked it or whatever. And Karen has said, I just want to make sure you understood that I really wasn't trying to come at you about the education and putting it down. Giselle said, yes, you was, and all this stuff. And I was like, girl, shut up. Girl, just shut up, because you twisted what she said. Okay, she wasn't really trying to put her down as to what she do or whatever. It's like, you're not a medical doctor. There's different doctorates and stuff like that, but she was talking about medical doctor, psychiatrist and shit like that. Wendy is neither one of those. Okay, so that's what Karen was referring to. And, of course, Wendy, she was like, Karen had to say she had the utmost respect for people with degrees and, education and all that stuff. And he was like, yeah, we ain't got to go into that. We ain't got to go into that. And here go Wendy. Yeah, because I put a button on that. I said, girl, you itching for Karen to read your ass once again for the third time in a row. Shut up. So they moved on from that. You got Giselle, opening up her mouth, trying to open up the floodgates and get all up in Ashley business about the whole Michael and her situation. Is they okay? And of course, Karen had something to say because she feels as though, once again, she's opening up her mouth, being nosy and, inquiring about other people's relationship. But yeah, we can't inquire about yours, okay? And that is the point that was shown in this whole little get down, okay? Ashley says she feel like she's 100% in her marriage now. And I said, just like everybody else, now, girl, you was just like 60%, maybe 55, maybe 45 about a couple of months ago, or I should say a month ago, and now all of a sudden you all the way in. Baby, it's going to take me some more time than that, okay, to get to that 100. I would have believed it more if you would have said that you was at least 75, 80, something like that. It's getting there, okay? That would have made more sense, But, like, I can't remember whoever it was that says, like, it seems like, she's basically trying to cover the fact and make it seem like she's okay or become numb to, I think it was Robin, numb to the fact of, what's going on in her marriage because she is a new mother. And, she said when she had became a new mother, she didn't care about the fact she was too involved with her child and too tired or whatever to even care what her husband was doing, whether or not he was cheating on her or not, which he was. That's what she put out there. And so, she sees what's going on with Ashley's relationship or whatever, or how Ashley is functioning because, that's somewhat how she used to do. Because I think Wendy asked, are you worried that he might do the same thing that he did the last time we was out, gone on a trip together, whatever, away from him? And Ashley says no. Meanwhile, while they at the table, Karen's like, speaking of relationships, what's going on with you and Jamal, Miss Thane? Because they asked, is everything okay with Ray and Karen? Karen said everything is good. We're hearing each other, we're seeing each other, we're good. So what's going on with you, Miss Giselle? It just baffles me that you are with this man Jamal, and yet he's never on your side. He's never on your arm. He's never in any of the events that you have out here in Potomac, but yet you're out there with him because she said my man is very booked and busy. And like Wendy said, all of our husbands are booked and busy, but we've seen all of our husbands or whatever. But when it comes to your man, we don't see your man on your arm supporting you. And that's all that they trying to say. And even, of course, Giselle gets up in her feelings. I ain't got to do this, and my man do this, and he's 8 state away or whatever. That don't mean that he got to see y'all and all this stuff. Maybe he don't want to see y'all and blah, blah, blah. Girl, it's a lot of defensive tone and, deflection that's going on in that conversation. But here's the thing. You're being very hypocritical because you be all up in everybody else's relationship. But when people ask the question about your relationship, you want to shut that shit down. Okay? Is it what it's supposed to be? That's all they want to know. Are you being treated fairly? Are you being, everything being 50-50, meaning that he's supporting you the same amount of the ways that you are supporting him? Because from what we see on this TV, it's always you going out there to see him for something or whatever, and he's coming out occasionally, maybe once or twice. Okay, that's what they're trying to get at. And Robin even said the same thing. Surprise, surprise. And of course, Giselle had something to say about that in the confessional. These girls doing all this stuff. Robin, I need you to have my back. No, Robin can speak up on what she feel is right and what she feel is wrong. So that's what they was getting at. Then Ashley did mention the whole thing about Candiace, and hopefully that she will be able to tell Candiace herself before it comes out, about her providing this statement to Monique. They go up to their rooms, and Ashley, was trying to talk to Baby Dean before he goes to sleep, and she's calling Michael's not answering the phone. She FaceTime him first, then she calls him, then she calls Eve. Eve answers the phone and was like, Michael is not there. It's after 7 o'clock. The baby is fussy and ready to go to bed. Okay? So at this point, I'm sitting here like, well, Ashley, get on the phone with Baby Dean and talk to him or whatever since you got him right there. And then call Michael and see what his ass at and cuss his ass out. That's what you do. Okay? Ashley did she took one of those factors out. She didn't even talk to Baby Demon. At least we didn't see that. She called Michael. He finally answered the phone, talking about something he on his way home. He just so happened to be on his way home because he got that phone call. Okay. And then she was like, what do you mean? You supposed to have told Eve that you was gonna be late or whatever. That's what you should have said. And it's 7:13. He goes down at 7 o'clock. He's very fussy. He's this, he's that. He was like, I can't do this. Okay. I can't be molested. I said, what the fuck? And hung up on her ass. I was like, wait a minute. Now that sounds like you was doing something else that you weren't supposed to be doing, Michael. Okay, if you getting offended like that, cause she clocking your shit, cause you lying and stuff. And Ashley had Ashley sitting there crying, talking about something. She wanted to go home. She missed her baby, and she calling his ass again, and he ain't even answering the phone. I said, Ashley, fuck all that. Call Eve back. Talk to your baby. Tell her to put the baby to sleep, and you go to sleep yourself, and you wake up refreshed and enjoy the rest of your trip. Fuck that nigga. So, Giselle is still up. It's still night one. Robin comes over there to check on her. Of course, Giselle is in her feelings about the fact that Robin took Karen's side on this whole thing. Well, didn't necessarily have her side, but she had to see where Robin was coming from because what Karen was saying was making sense. And, at one point, Karen went and she talked to Ashley about the whole thing. I think Giselle received it more because it was from Robin. And, even Ashley had called Karen out a little bit on the way that she said it and how she was coming at Giselle a little bit, but she understood because of all the things that she feel like this is Karen's get back, her chance to have a her get back at Giselle because of the way that Giselle been shading her and saying things about her too and behind her back or whatever throughout the seasons that they showed, and so they asked about Karen asked her, with that being said, is everything okay with Michael or some shit like that? Somehow Michael came up into the conversation, and Ashley telling her how she snapped off on him and kind of overreacted with him not being home with baby Dean and all that stuff. And then he eventually called back and, said he's sorry, he was on his way, he understood why she snapped or whatever, and he won't do it again. And Karen had to ask, so, are you acting like this because you feel like, you snapped off or whatever, you overreacted because you feel like it was a possibility that, what happened the last time we left could have came back up? And she was like, no, 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 that's not it. It's just that I Michael hurt me this time, and that's what it is. Like, I never felt like he hurt me. This time he really hurt me and all this stuff. And I'm just sitting here listening to this like, girl, like Robin said, and I've been agreeing with Robin for a little bit this episode. Like when she said at that dinner table in the confessional, Ashley needs to let him have responsibility, hold that man accountable for the shit that he's done. Okay, and I feel like she's just being purposely naive to a lot of the stuff that Michael has done and letting him get away with it so that she won't have to deal with it. All right, and it's just gonna keep on bubbling and bubbling and bubbling until it boils over again in a more messed up way than her snapping off on him for being late to put baby Dean to sleep. Okay, let that man hold responsibility. Quit trying to cover up stuff. We know that your relationship is not perfect. No one's relationship is perfect. Okay, but your relationship won't work if both of y'all will not take responsibility and accountability for the actions that both of you guys take. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And Candiace, girl, you on these damn sticky notes. That's all I'm gonna say. I wanna go to the phone. So the girls meet up in the lobby of the hotel. They get ready to go. They're about to go ride on the cable cars, and everybody inquiring if you talk to your significant others, did you talk to your families, and Robin says she hasn't talked to her family yet or whatever. Giselle made it a point to say that she talked to her girls and Jamal. They get on the cable cars. They do 3 at a time. You got Giselle, Ashley and Wendy on one cable car, and then you got Robin, Karen, and Candiace on the other cable car. So on Karen and Robin's cable car with Candiace, they're talking about the whole situation with Ashley, and are you satisfied with her answer and the way that she's trying to portray this relationship with Michael? And they're not necessarily, no, they're not. Okay. Robin giving her own experience about what happened when she had a newborn and how Juan cheated and, probably did it again or whatever, and her experience with that. Meanwhile, over there in Giselle and them, of course, Wendy is talking about, I think she asked what was with Karen. She said she's done with Karen. Girl, let me tell you something, Wendy. Karen don't give a fuck, and we don't give a fuck either, okay? You came on this show, like, I thought you was going to be likable, and you just became very much unbearable because, like, you just don't know how to let stuff go and to move on. We don't care, okay? That lady was not, yeah, she was being a little bit shady or whatever, but come the fuck on. Let it go. You said it was over and it's done with. Let it be over and done with. And I'm saying that because when they get off the cable cars, they go to have lunch. Ashley got to go to the bathroom to milk. Baby, I thought she was about to go in the bathroom, take a piss, and milk in there. Ashley came out with the pump gear on. I said, listen, she's a mother. She has no shame, and it shouldn't be looked or frowned upon. So go ahead and do what you got to do. Every mother has to do it. So, hey, it is what it is. It's, you want to call it, you want to have an issue with it, then you fucking do it, okay? But, everybody's having a good time. They ordering this drink puncher that they keep on calling the poom poom drink, or, making fun of how they gonna drink some poom poom. I said, don't see this. Me as a lesbian, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because I know it's just a joke. But anyway, that was funny. It was funny that they was calling it poochie, pom pom, poochie, and all that stuff. But you know, they get into this whole thing about what y'all was talking about on the cable cars. And then they start talking about the friendship between Karen and Wendy. There was never a friendship, so don't call it that. And, like Karen said, she said it's over and it's done with. It is what it is. Let it go. Okay? And she was like, you're right. But, the way that Karen tries to put down my degree and put this down, I'm about to unfasten it for a minute. I said, girl, Why are we still talking about this? Nobody cares. So Wendy opens up the floodgates again and said, it took her 6 years to get this doctorate degree. She dedicated her first page of 170 page of her dissertation to her family. Her father passed away. That's unfortunate. During the process of her getting this doctorate, she had her kids during this process and all this stuff. Okay, we get it. It took a lot. That's not what that girl. Karen just said, you know what? Let me apologize to this girl so she can shut the fuck up. Listen, girl, if you think that I was trying to shit on your shit, that's not what I was trying to do, and I apologize. That's all bitch. I said, Wendy, that's all you wanted. That's all you wanted, girl. Anyway, moving on from that, so they get into Karen talking about the whole Jamal situation. She said, now see, Giselle, when I was talking about Jamal, I was just trying to make it so that you can say that we here for you and all that stuff. I said, Karen, that's not how it came off, okay? Now, I ain't even on Giselle's side, but bitch, that is not how it came off. So Giselle was like, that's not how it came off. But what Karen was getting at is, you can't be all up in our business asking about our husbands and stuff and like that, and so that you can make these shady jokes and shit about it. But yeah, when we ask about yours, it's off limits or whatever shit like that. And so I guess because Karen was getting on that ass, and she felt a little offended, and she felt like she had a point to prove. She FaceTime Jamal, put him on FaceTime, and like Karen said, that ain't enough because that ain't proving nothing, and at this point, she said, because you just proved that Jamal lives in your phone. Even Candiace had to laugh at that shit and say Jamal lives in her phone. That shit was funny to me, okay? But that is the truth. You can't be inquiring about everybody else shit and putting your little spin on this and all this stuff. And she said, bitch, you weren't open to me about your stuff. She said, why would I be open to the devil at that time? And then Giselle in the confessional was talking about herself in third person. So you talking about Giselle and you calling her the devil and all this stuff. Because Giselle, you were. You were. Okay? The time when Karen needed you to be the friend the most, especially when she was going through her tax issues, you were being the worst so-called friend. You were not being a friend. Have we forgot? Baby, go through all the fucking seasons and see how much of a bad friend you supposed to be. You are a friend of me. You're not a friend at all. But anyway, that was the Real Housewives of Potomac. You guys tell me how you felt. It was a little filler episode. I gave y'all enough. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.